As for Richard Simmons' death, some now question if a heart attack or fall could have killed the seemingly healthy fitness guru.
He said he thought he'd had some food poisoning, but he was getting better and he was just going to go to bed a little bit early.
I knew he wasn't feeling well.
Just as long as you feel good and healthy, that's all that counts.
Richard's cause of death is listed as deferred pending further testing and investigation. And a new report says that leading up to his death, he was dizzy, fell in his bathroom, and had to be helped up by his live-in housekeeper, Teresa.
I said, I know you're not feeling well. Here's a happy birthday present. And he wrote very generously back about it, and that's the last communication we had.
E.T. spoke exclusively with two of Richard's closest confidants, his brother Lenny and Patrick Leonard, the composer for his musical. Both were in touch with Richard hours before his housekeeper found him dead next to his bed.
She started crying and said, "Your brother, I think he's gone." And I said, "Did you call 911? He said, "Yes, they're on their way." And she was right, he was gone. They still have to obviously do all the tissue sample, et cetera, because that's what they do now.
The LAFD tells E.T. the 76-year-old was pronounced deceased on scene due to apparent natural causes. But could his reported dizziness mean Richard was having a heart attack?
The fact that there was dizziness would be a little unusual for food poisoning unless he had recurrent problems with vomiting. The symptoms that are associated with a heart attack, we classically think about chest pain, not actually abdominal symptoms that could be related to their heart. They can get nauseated and can vomit. Dizziness by itself with actually abdominal discomfort is actually very concerning.
Cardiologist Dr. Keith Churchwell explains a fall is always concerning. Internal injuries could have also contributed to his sudden death, like comedian Bob Saget.
If one has an unexplained falling episode, especially in someone who of an older age, greater than the age of 65, go immediately to the emergency room.
As for a public memorial for Richard, no date has been set, but per his rep, there will be a celebration of life ceremony. The fitness guru was laid to rest Friday morning, surrounded by family and close friends, just as his brother planned. Have you thought about funeral plans?
It's going to happen. Being Catholic, I know there will be a mass involved in California. We're working that out with Teresa.
Okay. It's been a week since the world lost fitness guru Richard Simmons, just one day after he turned 76. The star who adored the spotlight actually became reclusive in the last decade of his life, hiding away at his Beverly Hills home. And that's where his brother Lenny spoke exclusively with Nichelle Turner about Richard's final moments. Here's more of their interview.
It was really a shock. He wasn't feeling real well that day. My soul just sunk. We have checked with the coroner. Basically, they said it was probably just a natural death, but they don't believe that there was any real problem. He just unfortunately passed.
This was the scene in L.A. last Saturday, Richard's body being carried to the coroner's van after his live-in housekeeper called 911. Paparazzi were on the ground and overhead of his mansion as they had been in recent years over concerns the once vibrant fitness advocate had disappeared. The Simmons gym founder blamed his public absence on a knee injury when E.T. spoke to him via phone in 2016, his last TV interview.
No, I'm not kidnapped. I'm at peace, and I just need some time.
When was the last time you saw Richard in person?
It's probably been about 6.5 years. He just wanted to be alone.
Do you feel like he was starting to come out of that period?
Oh, I felt more than that. He had come back. Our friends were reading all the posts. He was being witty again.
We don't get a choice on how we're going to die, but we do get a choice on how we're going to live.
You made a mistake, but that's okay. We can fix it.
I'm the only one around to make him smile and make him feel good and give him hope. And it's, I'm a clown, but it's a very hard job.
Richard and Lenny, who are 20 months apart, grew up in New Orleans. As a kid, Richard sold candy to tourists. After Hurricane Katrina, he brought E.T. to his childhood home.
This is the house that I was born and raised in. I was 200 pounds in the 8th grade. I was the fattest kid in school. I was always told that I was gonna grow up to be nothing but a big fat zero. I lost 137 pounds and came to Los Angeles and opened my studio up. I felt that I needed to help other people.
He was the kind of guy that you never thought was gonna go away. Sweetest man in the history of the world.
I spoke with Richard's friend, former Nickelodeon host Mark Summers.
At
guy we saw on TV. A lot of people were wondering, oh, when does the act end and where does the man begin? There was no difference, was there?
No, there was no act. He was big and he was loud. When I heard about the reclusive situation towards the end, I understood it, Kevin, and I'll tell you why. Nobody gave 120% of energy like Richard did. And I just think he was exhausted after putting in all that time, that he needed some time to himself.
I love him. I miss him.
Pauly Shore, who publicly sparred with Richard over portraying him in a biopic, posted a tribute saying, "I hope you're at peace." Before his passing, Richard was working on a Broadway musical about his life and another project for ABC.
Tell me about the documentary that was in the works about Richard.
I think he wanted to tell his story to tell people that there is hope in the world, that you can do it, you can work hard, you can lose weight. He was writing songs on the musical, maybe you didn't hear this, When It Happens, where the orchestra pit is, they are talking about having people getting up there and exercising to it.
Why do they like me?
Legendary songwriter Patrick Leonard shared one of the songs he and Richard completed for the musical. How far along were you?
I think there's about 8 or 10 songs. It's all very autobiographical to tell the story from his point of view. It should go on because it was his dream.
I bet it still happens because the life that he led needs to be told over and over again, because there are not many humans around on this planet today that are the quality of human that Richard Simmons was.
I call 100 overweight people a day, get them motivated and inspired. I teach classes. You know, this is what God wanted me to do until he takes me to that little aerobic studio in the sky.
The investigation into Richard Simmons' death and the secret anguish that led him to live his final years in hiding. Now to the investigation of beloved fitness guru Richard Simmons, who passed away in his Hollywood home this past weekend. The question is, though, were there clues in his final hours that something was wrong?
Do you need a hug or a kiss on your cheek? I'm not going anywhere. I am here to stay.
Richard's final words to his fans just 2 weeks ago, before he was found in his LA home dead at 76. And now the mysterious last days of the world-renowned fitness guru are coming into focus as we learn what may have caused him to vanish from the public eye 10 years ago.
One of the biggest one that sources close to him told us is he had reconstructive knee surgery and he needed a second one and didn't really want to go through with that.
TMZ reports that the night before his death, Richard fell in his bathroom. His housekeeper urged him to see a doctor, but he refused. He was found dead next to his bed Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And even though he'd been struggling with knee issues and even beating skin cancer, Richard was busy and upbeat during an interview with People magazine just 2 days before he died. I'm grateful I get to live another day.
He was still working every day. He was sending emails and letters to fans. He was, working on a Broadway show. He was planning to make a comeback.
Richard had just started tiptoeing back into the spotlight, sending this upbeat message to his fans on his YouTube page.
I'm here to make you happy and chase your blues away.
Richard brought joy with every appearance.
Hi!
There you go.
It's a beautiful day.
And always seemed okay with being the butt of the joke.
Richard, your ass is hanging out of those shorts.
But despite all the adulation and his mega success, he never felt like an icon, telling people, "I'll always be the court jester." It was his great anguish, likely the result of his difficult past. Richard grew up bullied and described the fear he grew up with.
When I was in high school, and I'd go to the bathroom, they would put lighter fluid under the stall and then light a match to it to burn my legs.
New reports today suggest that Richard may have died from a broken heart and that he felt like his career was a failure because he never received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's just so heartbreaking. He was such a special guy and such an inspiration to so many people out there. Today, People magazine is publishing dual covers, one featuring Richard, the other featuring Shannon Doherty, who we also lost this past weekend. Her mother is breaking her silence on her devastating passing. Mona has more for it.
Anthony Ramos in Twisters, due later this year. And speaking of connections, this clip is going viral today.
You burst on the scene and everybody's happy. And I love that.
I think people without a sense of humor, it's just awful. You must have a sense of humor. Life is too short.
Of course, we also lost Richard Simmons over the weekend. Melvin has more on his life and legacy.
Yeah, Billy, Richard whipped people into shape for more than 40 years at his Beverly Hills studio. Today, people are remembering him for the inspiring force that he was.
Oh my God, get up, come on, give me your hands here.
With the tiny shorts, big hair, and that larger-than-life personality,
yeah, put on the spritz.
Richard became a national treasure as the fitness guru who had America sweating to the oldies.
2 more, 1 more.
His videos and books made him a multi-millionaire and helped countless people shed millions of pounds.
Hi, Extra! I'm Richard Simmons, and I'm going to help you create a new you for the new year! Yeah!
Richard was always fired up about fitness and having fun every time he came on our show. Like he was here with us way back in 2004. His lifelong passion to help others lose weight and to lead healthier lives came from his own painful childhood in New Orleans, where he weighed 280 pounds.
I had a pretty rough childhood. I was overweight, I was obese. My school only offered sports. I never took sports. I sat on the benches from elementary school to high school to college, never taking PE.
In 2008, Richard ditched the dolphin shorts for a suit and got very emotional when he sat down on our set to talk about his crusade to launch programs nationwide to help kids like him get fit.
I know I'm a clown, and I know that I'm a court jester, and that's why God put me here. But there's a serious moment in the heart of a clown that says, please just help our children.
Richard started his journey to help others when he moved to Los Angeles at the age of 23.
After losing 119 pounds, and I took my very first exercise class, and when I was 25, I opened my exercise studio in Beverly Hills called Simmons.
Through his many workout videos and even a music video for his song Hairdo.
So what style do you want?
Richard became a massive star, but then mysteriously he stepped away from the limelight for the last several years, hiding out in his Hollywood Hills home. His last public appearance was in Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 2013. In 2016, he called into the Today Show to deny rumors he was being held captive by his housekeeper.
That's just very silly.
He announced in March that he was battling skin cancer, but he reportedly died of natural causes this weekend. This is the now haunting final photo and one of Richard's last posts before he passed just one day after his 76th birthday. The reclusive, inspirational fitness guru, the caption, "Hello, gorgeous, please don't rain on my parade." Dr. Ruth and Richard Simmons. The video now going viral after we lost 2 legends over the weekend.
You must have a sense of humor. Life is too short.
How Richard went from depressed, overweight teen to weight loss tycoon.
I know I'm a clown, and I know that I'm a court jester, and that's why God put me here.
And flamboyant fitness legend Richard Simmons.
Hi, Extra!
Richard's emotional last interview with Extra.
There's a serious moment in the heart of a clown that says, please just help our children.
Extra brought to you by Skechers Footwear. Stylish comfort for men, women, and kids.